All right, 225. Now you have made it through the video content, or hopefully you have, for the first session here. And we're getting down to the part that I know you have been curious about since opening the course for the first time. What are some of my homework and projects going to look like? One of the projects that you are going to have every week is going to be to take at least 100 photos to share with the rest of the class. Now, the full description for this will be in the discussion posting that you'll see below this particular page in Eagle. But each week, each of us is going to take 100 photos to share with the class. So this week, I am not worried about editing them. I am not worried about how we will call them, so how we will remove the images we don't want. This week, I really just want for all of us to get over the stigma of being a photographer, to get over the stigma of how it is that we are going to actually go through and take these photos. I just want us to focus on getting out there and taking photos. So here in the DPCC textbook, this one has and again, this is why I really dig the difference between these two textbooks. In this textbook, we have at least a dozen ideas in the first 5 chapters. We have a dozen ideas of what kinds of photos that you might be able to take over this first week. So here, and you'll excuse me, it's page 33. Here on page 33, we actually see 2 of those ideas. One of them is people working, and the other one is a head and shoulders portrait. So these can count towards your 100 photos. How many pictures do you need of people at work? I really don't know. How many pictures would you like to take of people at work? How many head and shoulders portraits do you want to do? I really don't know. How many head and shoulders portraits would you like to do? This is really up to you. What I'm going to do, and what you'll see right here under this video in just the description part, is a listing of these ideas that you might be able to go through and execute over the course of this week. But does that mean that you have to have all of them represented? No, absolutely not. What I want for you to do is to focus on the kinds of photography that you like. You know, we know the name Ansel Adams because Ansel Adams liked nature and landscape photography. There's a match there between the photographer, their expression, and their passion, right? For those of you who have lived for a while in the photography world, Annie Leibovitz is a name that we've heard for probably longer than I've been alive. She's been a photographer, and the thing she is the most famous for is for portrait photography. That's because it's a subject that matches her passion, that she can use photography to communicate. So I don't want to tell you what kind of, at least not yet, I don't want to tell you what kind of pictures we have to take. Like I said, for this first week, I just want your first 100 photos to be ones that you are interested in exploring, to be types of photos that you're interested in taking. And then in sessions 2, 3, and 4, we'll narrow that down into now we'll take these kinds of shots. Also, remember that here in the DPCC textbook, you can see over here, I think it's over on this direction. There we go. Everything is backwards. It's a little hard for me to do without destroying my brain entirely. You can see over here on the left-hand side, maybe that's easier. You can see here on the left-hand side that the text really does a really fantastic job of supporting how you might want to do these. So here, again, this is just on page 33, but each one of these tidbits accompanies a type of shot. It's giving you suggestions on how to hold the camera. One of the things I see all the time is people just hold the camera like this. Can I tell you the cardinal sin of phone photography is to hold your camera like this? That is absolute total bonkers bullshit. Don't do that. It is always two hands. It is always in landscape. It is always with your finger away from the actual lens apparatus. This is about the best way to hold that camera. It provides you with a nice, steady, stable platform to hold the camera close into your body rather than way out in front of your body. Cover the camera there again. Way out in front of your body introduces a ton of shake into that camera. Here, closer to your body, what you are doing is you're removing your arms and you're removing your hands from the equation, and you're relying on the stability of the core down through your legs. So you have 2 feet, very probably you have 2 feet that you can plant on the floor, and you have a core that is holding your camera stable. That works out much better than the lazy Instagrammers' way of holding the camera. So each of these comes with a bunch of hints on how you want to take those pictures. Please do yourself a favor and read through these first, because all of these hints add up to slightly better picture, slightly better picture, slightly better picture, slightly better picture. And each one of those small increases in quality will, over time, accumulate into a much better, base set of images to start using. So here, think about and again, this is in the textbook. So think about what you're doing with your exposure. Can we increase or decrease the white balance? Do we increase or decrease the shutter speed? So we're letting in less light or we're letting in more light. What can I do to get closer to a subject? How do I frame my subject? Do I, go up so that I'm getting a different perspective? Do I go down so that I'm getting a different perspective? All of these considerations are unique to the photo you are trying to take. And the more considerations that you can be consciously aware of before you take that picture, the better the core of that image is going to be, because it has better subject framing, it has better white balance, it has, a more unique perspective, and we can start to stitch all of those small considerations together so that we can improve, generally speaking, all of our pictures. So here, let's start thinking about how it is that we're going to take 100 pictures a week.